BSG 34. Our next runner is getting ready for the trauma center under the knife. It's none less than DoubleDubbel. Take it away.
All right, thank you, Mies. Yes, my name is indeed DoubleDubbel, and we're here for some Trauma Center Under the Knife, the very first game in the series, Trauma Center series by Atlas. With me, I have a buddy of mine.
Yeah, I'm LeoK. I run some of the Wii games predominantly, but I've played this game. And prepare yourself for some anime surgery malpractice.
Yes, malpractice. Occasionally more than others. All right. Also, you're welcome for this this screen of mine with Operation Rank spelling out a certain word. All right, so if that's ready, then we'll get this one on the way. Time is going to start when I click New Game here. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
So, most important trick of the run right at the start. Push select, and this text goes fast. Saves literal hours. The other main trick that I'll be using throughout this entire run is using 2 styluses. So we're Dr. Derek Styles, and we just got a medical license, and we're learning how to be a proper surgeon. So the game is going to teach us about the tools. We have the suture that we can suture these lacerations with,
Doctor.
and then we have the
Doctor.
do it carefully. This is not the time for malpractice yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, we have this, the 4 steps that we pick up objects, and then we have the biogel that basically does everything.
Yep, so we'll use it to open incisions. We're going to use it to patch up little bits of holes here, so like the glass here. We're going to use the gel to patch up these holes. We'll use it to also secure membranes after we deal with tumors.
All right, so yeah. So one of the biggest things in the 2 stylus trick is using it with the 4 steps to teleport objects across the screen.
Good job, Dr. Styles.
So essentially what happens is the DS doesn't really know how to interpret 2 touch inputs at the same time. So when you put down one stylus and then put down the other, it snaps between the average of those 2. And then you can lift up the other one, and essentially you just teleport an object across the entire screen. It becomes pretty useful later on when we have a lot of things to pick up and to drop onto the tray, including tumors in this operation.
Yes. Yeah. The first operation was the general tutorial. Now there's going to be a tutorial about treating tumors.
Let's begin.
We do have a bit war in. Do we have a moment?
Yes, if you want to get a donation in.
Okay, we have a bit war. That's the healing touch shape Triforce for 20 euros. So now we know.
If someone wants to snipe it, we can keep it open for a little bit. About 10 minutes into the run that we would close it. But it's hard to beat a Triforce.
Alright, so as you'll notice, essentially what Double has done is he's injected some healing juice with the syringe that will boost the vitals. He's then ultrasounded the tumor, which we don't need to do further on. He's then going to use the scalpel to open it up, drain out the tumor juice, as I like to call it, cut it out, drop it onto the tray, and patch it all up. You'll see that he didn't use the gel to finish up the patient, as that is much slower, so the ward can deal with any sepsis.
Yeah, that's malpractice part 1. Is we do it in the first operation because the operation forces you to, but for every other operation here on out, we just put the bandage on without disinfecting. So now we're going to get the proper tumor operation. You know, the game taught you about it, so now you get to do it for realsies.
Yep. So this operation we've got 3 instead. So Double is going to open up the patient, and he's going to find all 3 tumors without having to ultrasound. He's first going to deal with these inflammations, which is nice and easy to deal with.
Yeah, find them by cutting wildly.
There you go. Drain each of these and then cut them out. The fun fact with the drain, it's not automatic. Double is tapping down the drain down, and then he's swiping up in a straight line, a very precise straight line, to be able to get those to work.
Yeah,
so it's
it's very strict. If you veer off just a little bit, then the drain will like stop existing, and you have to push down on the touchscreen again to place the drain again.
But just like that, within 30 seconds,
Good job,
Double has
Dr.
dealt
Stein.
with some tumors. So I imagine tumors will be that easy to deal with in real life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not the case.
Also, I'm rapidly tapping the screen here to make the score scrolling go fast.
So
And I'm also doing it during the operation points, like here, where at the chapter title appears on the top screen.
I think it's worth pointing out that this game's set in the far-fetched future of 2018, which is
Yeah.
some years ago now. What, 4 years? So I think we're lacking a little bit in our medical technology. Don't you agree?
Yeah, running mine a little bit. All right, time for the operation. I'm the absolute worst at. I am looking forward to this, by which I mean I'm not looking forward to this at all. Polyps on vocal cords. So this will introduce the magnifier.
Let's begin.
Yeah. So this patient, he's a singer, and he's noticing his voice isn't quite the same, so he's come to us, and it turns out he's got some polyps on his throat. So Double's going to drain the blood. He's then going to laser them all up, and then once they're all lasered, he's going to drain the blood some more, and then slap a bunch of gel down and cease the magnification. Worst part is that this magnification tool is very specific. Like the rest of the game, it expects you to draw a circle, but we found that drawing a C is a little more consistent. So Double here just going to be patching up all these polyps.
Can switch tools properly. So another function of using two styluses is I can use my left hand to select the tools on the left side of the screen. Now this is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things. So I'm just gonna have to deal with a couple of blood pools. The gel lingers for a bit, so if I drain fast enough, like the lingering gel will still do things. Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, this is just this for a little bit. There we go. That time I got them all before the blood pool.
If I recall, this should be the last one.
Yeah. Also, one of the easier formations is I messed it up.
There you go. Nice and easy. That's all the polyps done. And the lovely bandage. As Angie just pointed out, she's been assigned to a slacker, which is very true. Derek isn't very good with his doctoring skills, regardless of whether you play this game perfectly or like garbage. She will point out on it, and it becomes kind of a story point in the next operation, which is going to sort of reveal a bunch of things about Derek and how he's not a very good doctor at all. Let's see how this pans out. We've got multiple tumors.
And this is actually, like, you've seen me be pretty safe with, like, the vitals at the top screen and everything. This is the further operation where I mess things up, the patient's gonna die.
Correct. First Double's going to deal with all these inflammations. Just 'cause they do a little bit of damage over time, and they also get in the way. He's taking full injections to the syringe, dropping it into all these. And then he's going to find the 4 tumor locations after a little bit of vital boosting for safety. There are 4 tumors here.
There's more visual cues on this organ, so it's easier to find them. Because one thing with the DS games here is that it's very inefficient to switch tools constantly, so you want to use one tool as much as you can, and then do everything. And you can see the vitals draining rapidly.
Yeah,
There we go.
We're at 30, and now we're down to 16.
Yeah, because I did the vital boosting earlier, that's why I was safe even with that miss. In PB attempts, I would have been dead.
So he's going to give the intestines a little massage, a little pat, make them all feel nice, rubbing all those membranes. And now we've got to sit here and spam the ultrasound.
Yeah, check the entire area carefully. Don't worry, Angie, I'm checking this entire area very carefully. Nothing there.
I think it's also worth pointing out that whenever you see call at the top right, Double is mashing the heck out of that to basically skip any text. Because it's the first game in the series, there is no text skip. You have to manually mash through anytime you're in an operation. Outside of the operation, you can just hit select. But it seems Atlas was a little tardy and didn't include it for the actual operation itself, which is a shame, but that's fine. Text skip where it matters most with all the extra dialogue is fine.
Yeah, in this game, they give you this text skip option for the cutscenes, but not for mid-operation dialogue, and it very much gets in the way occasionally of you doing things.
So this episode, quickly summarized, basically that Derek messed up as a doctor. His last patient came in and like basically their organs exploded. So it wasn't a good time. So now he's heard that there's an accident. He's rushing back into the hospital to help out because there's no doctors. Angie's freaking out. So it's time for us to step up to the plate and become a real doctor.
Except not at all, because we're going to leave this patient to flatline. Enjoy this constant beep.
What's something you want to hear your doctor say? Part 1 of many.
Then we gel everything up. So yeah, we can treat the cuts. We just have the time limit at the top to resuscitate him. So we treat everything because treating everything ends us up with the gel, which we need to use first for the resuscitation.
Yeah, so that's
the
the whole
heart
thing.
massage.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with the pacing and using the tools in a subsequent order to ensure that you get everything done.
Miss is not nice because now I need to boost vitals. I get 30 max vitals to work with here, by the way.
So you'll notice here, anytime the double takes out a shard, the vitals drop very quickly. So he's going to use the gel and he's going to use the forceps sort of in tandem. See here, basically taking out as much glass in a quick go while also gelling up those holes. We're going to get another fat line, so the vitals are going to drop.
I need to hit this 6 times at the edges, then it'll come back. Vitals will go back to where they were before. And for safety, I'm going to vital boost again here.
Yeah, good idea.
If I have to... There we go.
Nice. And so,
Okay, cool.
we said it's anime malpractice surgery. You'll see now why. We're going to get another cut, and Derek's going to use his anime superpowers and slow down time.
That guy's more finicky than it looks.
Yes, the sutures in this game are peculiar is one word to describe them. Garbage is another. All I'll say is you have to cover the entire cut with sutures for it to work.
Yeah, and yeah, this so that is a power that we know as the healing touch, and this is a force usage of it, so I can draw a nice Triforce for you guys. And we're gonna get another operation here where it's gonna be forced on us. Then we're gonna get an operation where we're gonna learn it, and after this operation is when when I'm done with this operation, that's when we'll cut the incentive. So get ready to close it and as well as sniping it. So we get some thrombi to deal with here.
Oh, here comes the malpractice that I've been warned about.
Doctor.
Yeah, okay, so we zoom in by the tiniest of margins. So first, make him visible with the outros out, stop him with the forceps, hit them with the scalpel, drain him out,
And then
do this. Do these 3. This is like the grouping I use. Cure this, then they're gonna go super fast. Angie's gonna panic. I can still operate though. Stop him in place, then let this automatic happen. And then work on these 2.
So essentially what this is here is that these are essentially blockages in the veins, in the spleen if I recall. And essentially, yeah, Derek sees that it's going wrong, and for Tetapi, he really has the healing touch. He's activated it again.
I need to wait on cycles here, which means I can do malpractice.
That's another thing you don't want your doctor to be doing during your surgery.
Going a little bit slow, so I'll deal with these 2 first. It's a force usage, so it lasts infinite amount of time. When you do it manually, we'll have a timer for it. And clear up the last one, and then we go back.
That's all the thrombi.
Don't tell the patient about that. They don't need to know.
They also don't need to know about the bandage drops, which I think it's worth pointing out. That bandage drop does 5 vitals. And later on, we're going to get some operations that are very tight on vitals. So Double's going to be very careful not to drop the bandage when he's closing up a patient, because they're going to be very low. Because, you know, as long as the patient is above 0, that's fine, we don't care. But if they're below 0, we got to redo the operation.
Yeah, there's one operation in particular where you lose about 9 minutes if you fail at the end.
God. That's right, I haven't got to worry about that yet. It's a little while on.
Yeah, I'm gonna show off a couple of the odd shapes that you can do here instead of what the game wants you to do, which is draw a star. So while I do that, host, if you have anything to read and announce what shape we're actually drawing for the rest of the run, go ahead.
Yeah, we have still the bit war going on, the healing touch shape, and it's still on the Triforce with 20 euros. The down arrow, the star and the W are still empty. So as from now on we have the Triforce for 20. How long do you want to keep it open?
We can close it now.
Okay, then it's closed on the Triforce.
Nice.
Messing about. Bunch of circles. That's usually what we draw to go fast. It's just a bunch of circles that overlap.
So this.
So yeah, Triforce is what it's going to be.
So this operation, we double splits call it child's coloring book because yeah, you can just scribble all over it and it counts as a star, even though it's not a star. In the Trauma Center Discord, we have a channel that we use to post stars that should not count as stars. So more often than not, in the DS games, they are obscure shapes that make absolutely no sense, and in the Wii games, it just makes no sense sometimes. So yeah, we got some aneurysms here, and Double's going to be poking some sedative in, then cutting them out and closing it up and suturing. Nice and easy. But pranked, there's more.
Yeah, also get interrupted by Angie while we're trying to do things.
Which is a pretty common theme.
Yeah, just to make it kind of nicer on me, I basically demagnify and magnify again rapidly in between waves. And again, use the same tool as much as possible. Drain the blood.
I would like to also remind everyone that Double's playing this on, a window that's like this small, very small indeed. So while you get to see it in nice, clear quality thanks to the 3DS capture that he's got, unfortunately, he's playing on a screen that's very, very small.
Very scuffed Triforce, but we move.
Yep, you got it. That's what's important. The healing touch here is used so that we can delay the aneurysms from bursting. As you can imagine, something filled with blood suddenly exploding does quite a bit of damage. We don't want that to happen. So we're poking it all in here and making sure we cut those all out so we can now deal with all the tools in one go. Get some extra vitals in there for safety.
Yeah, because vitals are going to drop quite fast when I have open things like this. Yes, switching these two, now we move over to this side.
Some vitals in there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to do this in one go.
Oh. I would boost those vitals, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. Alright, so I'll do this sequencing instead, where I drain and then immediately forceps, because I can switch the tool with my other hand.
Yeah, so doing that, while it's a little bit slower, it means the blood isn't suddenly spilling out into the patient, which is important. Because while blood is supposed to stay inside of you, there's specific places it should be and places it shouldn't.
Yeah. Alright. So yeah, so as much fun as it is to draw Triforces, the game has a system where it judges the accuracy of your star, and the more accurate your star is, as the game judges it, the longer healing touch time that you get. If you actually draw a proper star, you'll generally get about 21 to 22 seconds. But with odd shapes like Triforce that we're doing, I'm gonna get like 15. That's quite a bit time less. So some cycles might get kind of tight, but I'll work with it.
So we've just had one patient, Linda Reed, who's been sent to the ward in the emergency vehicle, and yep, she's got a lot of blood going on here. So we don't really know why, but I mean, the important thing is first to deal with all this. So you can see Double is going to first drain all the blood to do with the sequencing. He's then going to use the forceps to close all these big wounds, and then suture up all the mess. Nice and quick. And she's going to cut him off there, but he's going to suture those all up. Sutures will work. And just like that, Linda Reed is saved.
Yeah. One of the easiest operations in the game.
Nice work, Dr. Styles.
Nice. In 20 seconds, that patient saved. That's pretty good, I would say.
Yep.
Life-saving surgery. I can't speak today.
also, shout outs to the operation's name that we just did. It's called Just Let Me Die. Because that's what you want an operation name to be.
Yeah, there's a good reason why, but it's all plot related. Essentially, I'm pretty sure she's depressed, she's feeling suicidal. Obviously, Dr. Styles works with her to figure that out. But there is actually a good reason why. I believe in the next operation that we do, it's called Just Let Me Live, as she's come to terms with
Please let me live.
Please let me. See, in Second Opinion, the remake of this game on the Wii, they do change some of the names slightly, so hence my confusion. Here it is.
Yep, there it is. Please let me live. So we're gonna basically do the same operation again, except it's gonna get anime.
that's one way to put it. So, you know, we've had Healing Touch. That's a little bit anime, but I think it's time we step out a notch. You know, we're in Chapter 3 or the end of Chapter 2 now, so it's time to kick this up a notch and really introduce the whole gimmick of this game. So, as before, Double's going to drain everything, then use the force to close it all up, use the sutures, and once he sutures these last few cuts, surprise, there's more cuts. And then get the exciting music in, and we see a little fish flying around here. That is Kyriaki. It's the first Guilt string. I don't know what Guilt stands for in full. It's a convoluted name.
Gangliated gangliated utrophin immunolatency toxin. There we go.
There you go. Double knows. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, as you say, while you're dealing with it as well. So essentially all he's done there is he's exposed it with the ultrasound and then cut it out with the scalpel. And then he's lasered it and gelled up everything to stop the virus from reaching down. And then suture everything. See there, he's managed to suture the first 2 cuts before moving on with Kyriaki itself. This is the mature form, so it spends more time around in the organ. We need to consecutively laser it and gel it over and over. Unfortunately, it's a little bit random as to where it ends up. You can see there, in a couple hits, Double's killed it, so nice and easy. And I hope you guys like seeing that operation. We're going to see it quite a few more times later on, unfortunately. As to Double dismay.
Yeah, so different runners have different consistency with the triple asterisk cuts that the mature Kyriaki makes when it spawns. For me, it's the one I sutured last that I have the least consistency with. So the 2 I sutured at the start is the 2 I do at the start. They always spawn at the same place in the middle, so you can basically anticipate the first one, which is why you saw me start suturing before it appeared.
Yeah, you can pre-suture those, which is quite nice. Plot-wise, I think there's some things going on. So, you know, they just dealt with a disease that they've never seen before. It's not quite right. So, of course, the organization who looks after researching and dealing with all these new diseases is Caduceus. And Derek has received an invitation, but he's not quite sure. So he's going to do some more surgery before he makes a decision.
Yeah. Right, so the strat for this is go fast.
Yeah, so we got heart surgery here, which I feel like shouldn't be done by a general surgeon. This should be done by a surgeon who works specifically with hearts, but apparently it doesn't matter. So Double's going to select the scalpel here. The patient's going to go into fibrillation, so he's going to need to massage the heart.
Unlike the one before, I only have to hit this 4 times.
Nice. And essentially, it's now going to be go fast strats. Let's go.
Yeah, so magnify, drain, cut, cut some more, cut even more, remove, place.
And suture, oh, drain, and
Drain.
then suture.
And then suture. You can suture before the blood pool appears. So yeah, now you can unmagnify, miss, then cool.
Yeah. I think it's worth pointing out that cycle is pretty tight. You have to be pretty quick to get all that all done before the fibrillation kicks in. So
yeah, it is random whether it's real or false. But yeah, if you're fast enough, you can just do everything before the first one can occur, even if it's real.
Smidge of RNG that's...
So just don't let the RNG happen.
Yeah, smidge of RNG dusted in that we get even more of later on.
Yeah, the game has plenty of RNG that we'll have to deal with later. So the less RNG we have to deal with, the better.
Yeah. Nice. So as you can see, Chapter 3 is now all about Caduceus. We get some slapping beats.
Yeah, so yeah, the anime has fully kicked off. We're going to be dealing with Strains of Guild, and there's going to be a couple more appearing in this chapter.
So yeah, Guilt is the main, I guess, antagonist. Well, it's not the antagonist, but it's essentially the bosses of this game. There are 7 strains in total, each representing the days of the week in Greek. So Kyriaki is Sunday.
And we'll go over the other days as the guild appears.
Yes.
So the operation we're about to do, it's Kiriaki again. It's more or less the exact same operation. So this is a good moment to throw it over to the host to say and read some things.
Yeah, sure thing. We don't have any donations in, so yeah, keep those donations in. We have still a lot of bid wars set up for you. We recently closed the trauma center, but we have still open ever with pacifist percent. Also the portal glitchless. You can pick your own color. We have that open. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee any percent. Xenoblade Chronicles, another trauma center new blood. And also Link to the Past with a Poor Shuffle or upgrade to Ammonizer. So yeah, keep those donations in.
You can see Double is boosting the vitals before switching that last cut as the final wave, also the first wave that we deal with doesn't appear until then. So he's going to ultrasound and, as usual, cut it up and then deal with everything. So got some more to deal with. So essentially this is basically a refresher of how to deal with Kiriaki, just in case you didn't manage to pick it up from the first one. But this is essentially a full-blown operation where it essentially tests whether you can deal with it or not, because unfortunately we deal with it so many times in this game, it's pretty important that you be able to deal with Kiriaki at a healthy pace without any problems, because this is just one patient. So before he switches that last set of cuts here, he's going to boost the vitals up again as we deal with the mature, because he's going to have to attack quite a few times.
Yeah, the mature won't spawn unless you until you clear up all the wounds from the previous waves. Also, one thing we should mention is that when the Kiriaki dives back in after getting hit, it appears somewhere random.
Yeah.
In Second Opinion, the Wii remake of this game, it just dives back in the place where you hit it, so you can just chain hits together. But here it's a guessing game.
The Second Opinion reworked a lot of the kind of the problems, I guess, with UTK, the oddities, including making things a little more consistent, a little more friendly. As you might have noticed, but there is no difficulty option in this game. This is the difficulty. This is the game. And of course, this is at this difficulty, so things are a lot harder than it probably should be. In Second Opinion and in subsequent games later on, they added a difficulty option to make things a little more interesting. You know, if you're struggling, you can take it down to easy. If you're finding it way too easy, you can set it up to hard. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury, so Double's locked in with what he's got here. Ah, yes. So I think the plot here is that we have Tyler Chase.
I just realized what's coming up.
Oh yeah, so we got Tyler Chase, who is a friend of Dr. Styles. They went to medical school together, and as it turns out, Tyler's doing some questionably ethical stuff. He's performing euthanasia, and essentially Derek's trying to convince him out of it. And surprise, Derek's sister has Derek's sister?
Tyler's
sister. You're right.
Dr. Chase.
I'm glad you called me on that.
Hey, about the RNG we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, she has two forms. He has two lots of Defetera, which is Monday in Greek, which seems appropriate given that we hate Defetera because it is pure RNG. So Double's first can deal with these tumors, and once they're all dealt with, we now have to wait for Defetera here. You'll see there are two colors, red and blue, and they have to merge, like they just did there, thank you Defetera, for Double to drain them. Double has to drain them 3 times to be able to then extract them. And you can already see where the RNG sort of kicks in here. They spend forever just swimming around. This is actually pretty solid RNG, I would like to think.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I draw lines with the gel because they will avoid the gel like it's a wall, so you can try to manipulate the Defterra that way.
Yeah. But one.
So that didn't seem too bad, right? It's just 2 pairs. You wait for them. But yeah, things are never as easy as they seem with both this game and Atlas.
Yep.
So we're gonna go to Operation Part 2. Shout out to this game for giving you max vitals into this. It does not do that in Second Opinion.
Yeah. So here.
Now there's 2 of everyone, and if they crash into each other, they make tumors, like so.
So yeah, Double's gonna do his best to drain these while they're, bumping into each other properly. He's gonna use the gel to make sure they don't bump into each other. Yeah, he's gonna go for separate HG strats, separate health strats, which means that essentially 2 pairs of different healths cannot combine. So he's gonna drain this one, and nice, he's already got 1 merge, that's pretty good. He's also got another.
Drain that quick, and now
nice, that's some good sequencing there. So those tumors do damage over time, so it's pretty important that he zaps those, but the priority here is to get rid of Defeterra, as long as the vitals aren't too high.
So try to manipulate with the gel to make them merge, which is like, it's something you can do when there's one pair. That's when it's manageable.
Nice.
So laser everything, push the vitals real quick to make sure the sequencing goes nice and easy. Laser that.
Nice, that was, I would say, that was pretty solid Defeterra.
Yeah, wish you could have this in PBs.
But yep, so that's Defeterra. Seems appropriate that we hate it given its mundane greed. But that was Defeterra. We only had to deal with it one extra time in this entire game. Thank God.
Yeah. but it makes up for it for being that much more awful.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, this was the easy one.
Yeah. Oof. Good job
Alright,
on that
now
one,
that's
dude.
over with.
Yeah, good job on that one. We now move on to what was it? Oh, I just realized.
Oh, yeah, this.
Okay, so
If that's one thing Trauma Center is known for, it's for doing operations on things that aren't patients.
correct. So this game has a bomb. We're going to a conference, and Delphi, the organization who are planting Defeterra, they're the ones who, not Defeterra, Guilt, they're the ones who are developing it. They decide, you know what, it's time to scare the entire medical board with a bomb. So Derek doesn't know how to deal with a bomb, but his colleague Sybil Myers, she does. I think the reasoning behind that is she dated someone while she was working for the police who was in the bomb squad. Yes, that is the actual plot point.
Ready to go?
So of course that's why she knows how to deal with this. So Double's going to deal with this water. This is the only time that we put stuff back down the drain. Is going to transfer this water over. That's the timer to stop the bomb from basically blowing up. There's another timer as well, which is 10 minutes. Plenty of time. We're going to do it much quicker than that.
So I'm using the forceps for this. I'm not using the 2 styler streak because it doesn't work well when you have to draw these up in a straight line. As you can see, I veered off very little and still gonna miss. Those ones I just let go too early.
Yeah. We haven't actually mentioned the miss limit. So in the top screen of the DS, there is the squares representing a miss limit. Essentially,
Good job.
if you miss 20 times, that's it. The operation's over. So it's
Good job.
you got to be pretty careful, especially casually,
Yeah.
with how to deal with this. Fortunately, we don't have to really worry about it too much.
Good job.
Yeah, so there you go. Double
Yeah, it's the
tunnel done.
so it's the same chips every time, and that's the grouping I do with how I time out burning out the laser. Because tools have limited use.
Indeed. So Double's going to cut all these red wires, cut the red wire to defuse the bomb. Being very careful. The screen's very small, as I mentioned before. So trying to get that it's impressive.
That worked out.
Good job. No healing touch needed.
Yeah, the game cuts the time short, and that's your cue to use the healing touch, but we can do it without. And yeah, we haven't been using the healing touch much, and I know you fans have been out there waiting for Triforces. There will be a bunch, especially in the latter half of the game. There's going to be a bunch of healing touch usage.
Yeah. So the reason why we don't use the healing too much is because, first of all, it kind of lags the game a lot, especially when there's a lot of gel on screen. The DS only has so much processing power and so much memory, which we actually abuse later on. But trying to use the healing touch when there's so much stuff going on causes quite a big delay. We do use it at some points because it's really important.
For example, here.
Yes. So
I'm gonna do it at a very interesting point. I'm gonna do it before I open the patient up.
Nice. So essentially, while Double draws this Triforce, this operation is you're operating on the plane, and this person has some edema in their lung that we need to drain. There are set patterns, so he's going to cut this first one, and then he's going to try and locate the pattern, as they do spawn in set locations. And there are 3 per pattern, and unfortunately the next pattern doesn't show up until he's done. So he's going to drain these before the turbulence kicks in. Fortunately, he has a little bit more time because of the healing touch. There we go, there it is.
All right, I'll keep it at 3.
That was good timing.
So you have to drain the edema 8 times to pass this operation. Did I just get the same pattern again?
I'd have done it, otherwise it's on the left. There you
Yeah, I
go.
was on the left this time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 cycles here, unfortunately.
That's alright, it's better to be safe than sorry. So he's gonna drain that all up, gel over for everything. You see you got a miss, unfortunately it doesn't matter, as it's just using the gel. He's going to search for the next pattern here. So there's one down there, and there's one over there, and that is the last two that he needs.
Yeah, you can expose the third. They show up in pairs of 3, but if you expose more than you need to, the game still makes you drain all of them before it gives you the you did good signal.
Nice work, Dr.
You also may have noticed the turbulence suddenly just stopped. That's not how that works, but you know, we can suddenly just make turbulence disappear by during the last edema.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
We control the weather.
Indeed. Like in UTK 2, the sequel to this game, we control where the tunnels are built.
Yeah, UTK being the acronym for Under the Knife.
Yes.
Also, I want to make a reference back to the bomb that we did earlier. Shout outs to people that have played the Wii remake of The Second Opinion, where the bomb is entirely different.
Yep, so I've run the Wii remake a good few times, to say the least, and that bomb is completely different. When I picked up this game for the first time, it threw me off big time, trying to understand how am I supposed to deal with this bomb. So once I learned the speed strat, it was way easier. But yeah, if you play this game and then you decide to play the Wii remake, yeah, the bomb is an entirely different story. Do not do not think it's going to be the same.
All right, time for the next strain of Guild.
Yep, so this is Treaty, which is Tuesday in Guild. Hopefully I'm remembering the days correctly.
I believe they are in like order of the week,
Yeah,
so the
yeah.
next one that we'll see is Wednesday.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, Treaty is basically this Dorito birthday cake, and essentially Double's going to pull out these thorns, and then he's going to have to cut all of these triangles out, and then once they're all cut out, he then has to pull out all the triangles. Now this is very close. You can see he's using the dual size trick there to teleport them, and he's going to go nice and quick now to...
Hey, okay, I'm gonna have to wait this one out.
Okay, so he's going to boost the vitals, because unfortunately he wasn't quite quick enough to skip the cycle. But if you go really fast, or you use the healing touch, you can essentially skip the cycle here.
Okay,
Alright, I think
okay,
you're good
let's
to
get
go.
this another shot.
So he's pulling out all these thorns.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a pull it up to actually pull it out, and then you move it to the tray. So I'm using my left hand to pull it up, and then
Teleporting it over.
yeah.
Ooh, the vitals are getting low. Unfortunately, the cycle means the Double has to just go fast. He better not miss. Oh,
Yeah.
making me sweat bullets there, dude. Whew. But he did it. That's the important bit. I might want to boost the vitals. There you go.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, missing any kind of miss does 5 damage. So yeah, it's gonna boost it to above 5.
Because as you can imagine, killing the patient with a bandage is less than ideal. And yes, it is a rite of passage. If you speedrun any of these games, you are likely to have killed at least one patient with the bandage at some point in one of your runs. It's bound to happen. Whether you want it to or not, it happens. Unfortunately, Double did not do that, and we move on to Chapter 4, where it calms down a little bit, and we immediately get thrown into our next guild type, which is Tatati.
Which is a breath of fresh air, because Tatati is by far the easiest skill to deal with, and I've set myself up for hubris by saying that.
Oh god, why would you do this?
That's the only thing you can do to make Tatati challenging, is by boasting about it.
Yes.
So welcome to the second piece of RNG here. We have to find 3 colors. They're random.
There are 5 locations, so, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully Double gets a 3-op, so we call these 3-op because you do the operation 3 times, but hopefully it's only 3-op this time. We don't get much more, as we could potentially be left with a 5-op, which is the worst RNG. It's essentially what determines whether your run is going to get a PB or not. So essentially what Double's doing is he's gathering samples here by ultrasounding, cutting it out, gelling up the little hole, then sticking in the serum, repeating it again until it's finally sedated enough, where he's then going to drain out the color, which you see in the gas rather. So he's going to pull out some green juice there. There you go. And we now pray that the RNG is on Double's side.
Yeah. So the spread of the colors is there's 1 yellow and then 2 greens and 2 purples. So the next one could still be either color.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. And yeah, you lose about a minute per additional operation you have to do. And my PB for this has 4 operations here.
So Double's just going to select any of the locations, it doesn't matter which.
Closest one, so shortest map travel time.
Exactly, yeah. Alright, I'm thinking this is going to be green again based on the position.
Let's begin.
Yeah, that is indeed green again. The sort of the shape of the incision you make determines the color. So yeah, we're wasting time. Hooray!
Okay, I feel like this is a good time. If the host has anything to bring up, now's the perfect time, I
I'm
think.
trying to select the ultrasound.
Nice. Yeah, we have still the bid wars going on, but after that we have also what is it all about? Let's introduce. For those who just tune in, we are the Benelux Speedrun Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. We're currently doing our events on site again, streaming for the eSports Game Arena Alphen aan den Rijn, the Netherlands. Besides that, we are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. One final thing to mention about these operations is that there's a certain specific order of operations that I do. No pun intended.
Let's begin.
Nice, we got a different color this time, so...
Yeah, this should be purple. The sideways cut.
Yes.
Sideways cut is purple.
Doctor.
Alright.
So yeah, about the sequencing. So I use the ultrasound to cut it out, and then it will flash red for a bit. During that flashing red, I can't inject, which means I use that time to gel the cut from excising it.
Yeah, this is slightly different than in the Wii games, because in the Wii games the time period is a little shorter, so it means that we can get on with things a lot quicker. While we're waiting for it to die, while we're waiting for an animation, we use the gel. In this case, it's going to where while we're waiting for another animation, we use the gel to
Nice
patch
work,
up.
Dr. Styles.
Yeah,
Alright.
what we're doing plot-wise is we're obtaining a sample of each of the 3 colors to make a serum with. And the sample that you drain out, you are forced to do 2 drains to do it in 2.
Alright, please. Please, before up.
Please, because I don't want to have to do a sideways cut again.
Let's begin.
Okay,
All right, we're
we
good.
got 4 off, let's go.
This is the final one.
Doctor.
Doesn't look like that, but yeah, this is green? Is this green or yellow?
This is yellow.
Oh jeez, this is the lovely color accuracy of this game. Unfortunately, if you're colorblind, this game is going to be a bit of a struggle for you. Even in Second Opinion, the remake, they unfortunately don't really improve it too much, but they do make it a lot clearer at least, to make it a lot easier to determine. In this game, as you'll see in the next operation where we have to deal with Tati in full, trying to deal with Tati as a whole is very difficult. You're having to basically guess which color it is. So Tati went off on a little moment there to
Yeah,
go sporadic.
that's the final one you find. Yeah, it does that little berserk thing, but you can just sit still and wait.
Nice
You're supposed to
work,
use the
Dr.
gel to slow it down, but I'm pretty sure it's on a set timer.
Yeah. On End of the Knife, it doesn't matter. In Second Opinion, it does. You can actually try and manipulate it to get closer to the tray, so it's less distance, but in End of the Knife, unfortunately, there is no set trick for that. You just have to kind of hope for the best.
All right, now for the easy part.
Nice.
Actual Tatardi.
Yeah, we get some color matching, which is going to be fun. But guess who our patient is, Double?
It's a person you may have seen before in the character art on of the top screen. It's Dr. Greg Casal, who was our mentor during the time at the first hospital, Hope Hospital, where we were before we came over here to Caduceus.
There he is. He's in his gown. And he asks the other doctor to do the procedure. Sorry, he asks Derek to do the procedure instead of the other doctor. And of course, Derek has to step up to the plate.
Let's
And so
begin.
here we are, now dealing with Tatati.
And waste cards.
Oh, they suck.
Doctor.
All right, so we firstly have these diverticular to deal with.
These have set colors. If you can't tell what color these are, I can't either. Double has memorized the location for each of these, so well played to him for memorizing that.
Yeah. And during the other Tatardi operations we do of Tatardi, it's the same order except reverse from left to right where they are on the screen.
Yeah, Double's now going to do Simon Says, waiting for a color to appear. So you can see they flash. You cannot inject them while they're flashing their color. You have to inject them once they've disappeared. So this is a bit of a memory game as well. And I've had it myself where I inject the wrong color, getting confused as to which one it is. Because, you know, 3 colors. It shouldn't be that hard to remember which one's which. But when you're that focused on getting the right color, it can be pretty difficult. Lily, the Double's doing a great job here, making sure he gets each one.
There we go.
And just like that, that's the tarty.
As easy as it should be.
Indeed. Slap the bandage on there, and Greg's now saved.
Yeah. That's how simple it should always be, but sometimes it just isn't.
Yeah. Of course, it wouldn't be more anime type malpractice simulator without even more guilt. So, you know, we've had Kiriaki, we've had Defterra, we've now had Treaty, and now we've had Tatati, and it's time to move on to Pempty. Pempty is essentially a side scroller, but you know, we're working in Caduceus, so we've got to do all the research. And so now we have to figure out how on earth are we going to deal with Pempty? Pempty is this like gelatinous thing with a core. Everything that we've tried so far just doesn't seem to work. So we're going to work with Victor to figure it out.
This is my favorite character. I love Victor.
Victor is, one way to put it politely, is quite blunt. You know, he's a genius, but you know, he's going to make us do some puzzles later on, which...
Yeah. Shout out to the objective for the operation, which is do what he tells you.
Yes.
Well, tells you to. So, detach with the scalpel. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, laser. Now that's the Sonic colors. All right, gel. So you can only use the gel for a certain amount of time before it will stop doing it. So yeah, just do it a couple times.
Here we go. So now he's going to start injecting some things. Now, if you think you know where you're injecting Pempty here, I'll be impressed. Double does. I just about know. But that's not the color accuracy of the DS screen. No, that is just how Pempty is. It is that hazy and that difficult to see.
Yeah.
That, it's pain.
Also, something I'm doing, I'm not doing full injections because you don't need to do a full injection to get the OK. But whatever amount you choose,
Vitals.
whatever amount you have is
Vitals first. You haven't got enough vitals.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
No worries. So one of the criteria for getting the maximum rank in this game, I don't know if it's the same in Under the Knife, but in Second Opinion, to get XS, you have to basically boost the vitals. If you don't, if you're being too efficient, then you don't get the maximum chain you need, which is pretty peculiar, I would say, to let the patient basically take damage. But you can see Double's pretty much all done. He's now going to cut it all out, drop it onto the tray, and that's it. Unfortunately, we couldn't figure out how to cure it yet, but Victor's going to go off and do some research.
Not half bad.
Yeah, but I may have lost the stage of the sequencing a few times. But yeah,
fine.
the thought I was gonna finish. Yeah, you don't need to do full injections to get the OK, but whatever amount you have in, you have to finish for it to count. So we just try to get as close as the minimum as possible without going under, and then inject it so it'll end sooner. Because the Pempty, like hazy stuff that you need to inject keeps moving around. Also, here's the puzzle. It's done.
Nice. That was pretty quick.
Styles.
Double does have his own little cheat sheet, but he's literally just turned it over. Oh no, he's decided he needs the cheat sheet. He's a cheater. Solid reference to the Trauma Center Discord.
Not trying to deflect attention from you or anything.
No, so a reference that we have in the Trauma Center Discord is a running joke that I am a cheater of the Trauma Center series, as I've only been running this game for a couple of years, and I worked my way up the leaderboard pretty quickly, and I also have stupidly ridiculous good RNG, so it's a good reason. But don't you worry, I'm not involved here. You know, I would have given double 3 off if I could, but no. So. Pempty here, we're injecting nanomachines, son, into the core, and we're now going to laser it. You can see there's a bunch of polyps. Double's just going to ignore those as they're completely irrelevant. We don't have to worry about those. We can leave those in the patient. Not something that you should do as a doctor, but you know, we do what we like.
Yeah, the vitals are going to tick down from them being around, but I just basically manage vitals. See, that's what can happen. I started injecting on the edge, and because the injection took too long and it moved away, it gave me a miss.
Nice. Now we just got to laser the core again, and then we'll have to cut it out.
Pempty, please hurry. My vitals are moving.
Just vitals just a little bit for safety. Then going to drop the Pempty core, and we're thinking, oh, this is all fine. We've just done it, and nope, it's back. And Sydney has said abort the procedure because, you know, the health secretary, that's who we're operating on. The health secretary cannot take it any further.
This is bad.
Also, you might be thinking it's malpractice to leave the polyps there, but the vitals stop draining from them, so the Pempty probably makes them disappear. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. We have to deal with them later on, so I'm sure it's fine.
Game forgets they're there.
Do we have time for donation?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Right, €5 from Killer Chair. Hey BSG friends, we can't wait to see you lot tomorrow again. Until then though, I will be hanging out here watching all the great runs. Thank you for that €5 donation.
Right. Perfect timing. So the first one I actually have memorized, but yeah, for this one I'm gonna be honest about my intentions.
Yeah, so essentially these puzzles have set patterns that you have to place the pieces. You can see at the top screen there is a little pattern as to which one you need to leave empty, but the rest of it is all up to you. You gotta figure out where you want to place all these. So you can see Double slapping all these pieces with the forceps, and just like that, the puzzles are done.
Nice work.
This puzzle here was to develop the scalar laser, which one doesn't run out, which is very cool. And second of all, we use it to now burn up the Pempty core as it burns 98%, or 99% even.
99.8, I think, he says. 99.
Yeah.
It leaves less than 99.8.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a very efficient laser. Unfortunately, we don't get to use it for the rest of the run, except for when we're dealing with Pempty. I think the excuse is that it's too powerful. You know, it'll burn holes through the patient's organs, which is possible to do, by the way. You can burn holes into the patient with the laser,
Okay, let's
so you do have to be careful. But finally, we deal with Pempty for the final time.
Now it's time for the actual auto-scroller.
Yeah. So essentially, if you keep on top of Pempty, this becomes an auto-scroller where you're just sort of waiting for things, which is pretty nice. But unfortunately, it's a case of just sitting here and waiting.
So Pempty, one nice thing that Pempty does is it cooperates with showcasing, because it will nicely display all 3 attacks it can do.
Yeah, so these ones are the small red cores that can cut. We're then going to get a bunch more cores that will create polyps or tumors. So Double's going to laser those all up. He's going to leave a few because the cycles are pretty tight. You can see he's dealt with all those. And we get the final cores, which circle around and deal vial damage. Except vials aren't really going to go anywhere as Double's lasering those immediately. Yes, now we are left with now dealing with the small cores as they come out and dealing with the big core as much as we possibly can. The priority here is the main core, because if we can laser that before dealing with the mini cores, even if there's a little bit of mess to clean up, it means that we're progressing on with the operation. There's the cut that it makes. Always going to balance it nicely. Nice, we got a little cycle skip there. So essentially, anytime at set health point values, anytime you laser the Pempty core, it results in the current wave, the current attack being cut off early, which is really nice. More tumors
Yeah,
there.
when it gets lower health, it also gets more aggressive. So this wave started going earlier.
Just like that, that is Pempty done.
Yeah. So one thing that we didn't mention is I'm specifically lasering the bottom left of the Pempty core, because that's the circling cores that we mentioned. That's where they spawn. So you laser Pempty and those cores whenever they come out.
Yep.
Nice work, Dr. Stiles.
So casual tip for you at home. You can do that at home as well. It's laser the bottom left.
Yep. Nice. So that's Pempty done. That was Thursday. We then move on to what are we doing with now? Yes.
Dropping styluses is what we're dealing with apparently.
So despite the fact that we just saved the health secretary, there's some bad news. He did not make it.
All those operations was just too much.
Yep. You can see that he's not doing too great, and Angie gets informed here that he's not doing too great. That he's just had like what 5 operations on him, 4 or 5 operations, a lot, an excessive amount basically, just for one person. So yeah, now here's the final goodbye, and just like that, he's now.
The sad
passed away.
music that very quickly goes away because we're going fast.
Indeed.
So chapter 5. So this is where things are gonna kick into gear.
Oh God. Okay. So here's the music. We now find out that Delphi, the ones who have been creating the Strains of Guilt, have been releasing it out into the public. We got a problem. So first of all,
It's time for 5-2 Under the Knife. Operation named after the game.
Indeed.
So remember that where I said if you kill a patient with a bandage, you lose 9 minutes on the final one? This is that operation.
Yep.
Kiriaki, the guild that we've already seen twice, we have to do it 5 times in a row.
Yep. Now, fortunately, the game is pretty lenient. If you manage to save the first 3 patients within the first 10 minutes, then the backup will arrive. As long as you finish the patient you run, then you don't have to worry too much. Double's going to go so fast that that's not going to be a problem. He's just going to deal with Kiriaki all as normal.
Yeah, laser.
He's going to laser this all up. And he's going to keep ultrasounding.
You want to expose all Kiriaki at once, so you can just deal with them at the same time. And also, to address the fact that we're like not curing the wounds until the end, if we cure it, the inefficient tool switching means that we're just going to be suturing the whole time. So we just let them make cuts, hit the memory limitation so no more will spawn. Yeah, no more lacerations will be made.
That's the important thing. Because, as I will mention, with the whole way that the tool switching works in this game, you want to sequence actions as best as you can, and the problem is suturing is very tight in this game. So, just to suture a couple of wounds, you have to spend a lot more time with you could have spent either boosting the vitals or dealing with Kiriaki itself. So that's the important thing there, is that he's dealing with Kiriaki, the root cause, then moving on with all the mess later on. So
Also
here we
take
go again.
because if I die at any point, or if my current patient dies at any point, I have to do like this entire operation from the start. So I'm also going to take an extra quarter second to put the bandage on.
Yeah.
Still want to boost there.
There we go. So we now got 2K to deal with.
Yeah, every patient will scale in difficulty, so there will be, this one will have more immatures, 2 on wave 1, 3 on wave 2 here.
Yep, so here you go. So you can now see there's 3 different immature Kiriaki that he's going to deal with.
Nice lag.
Yeah, so you can see the gel and the cuts and the blood all lag out the game. Probably all the vitals.
Oh.
I was too late on the suture.
Yeah. So you can see the vitals are very close. You have to be very careful to meet that. Fortunately, it was only second patient and he hadn't hit the mature yet, so it's not too much time lost. So,
Yeah, it's about a minute.
yeah, which isn't too bad. All things considered, given the fact that this is 5 operations, basically 5 patients back to back, it can get much, much worse and get really unfortunate and do a bandage kill on the last patient. And then we do it all again. So I hope you guys like Kiriaki. Because
Yeah, get to see it more.
Yep. And this isn't the last time you get to see it either. Just to remind you.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, cool. We have a donation, 10 euros from DM Panda. Hey, Double, your friendly neighborhood panda here. Have fun saving all those people for a great cause. Don't forget, do the thing. Don't forget to do the thing. Well, don't forget it, Double. Don't forget to do the thing. There you go. Don't forget it. Back to you, Double. Don't forget it. Bye.
Thanks, Panda. Okay, let's keep the vitals nice. Yeah, just slap a whole bunch of gel down over the wounds.
Yeah, so the gel does increase the vitals a little bit, and it also has the additional property where you might notice these cuts are a little bit puffy. They're basically spilling out blood. If you slap gel onto it, it stops that for a little bit, and it reduces the vital damage. So it's a good sort of emergency button that you want to press in case the vitals are dropping too quickly. So if you're struggling in this game casually, just quickly tap the gel and slather it over everything. It might lag the game and it might cause them a few problems, but it's important to keep the patient alive, otherwise you just constantly go around the same loop again. Alright, patient 2, here we go. You got this, man.
Alright. Do a bit of a better job this time, managing vitals.
Doctor.
There's the
Nice,
double.
got both of them.
Nice.
I was hoping they'd be close. That was close enough for the ultrasound to hit them both.
Here's the
See
triple.
there.
Nice.
Not sure how that scalpel usage didn't cause. Alright, I have a bit more vitals to work with to clean all this up, so I should be able to get rid of everything.
So I hope you guys like the suture sound.
Yeah, you're gonna be hearing it a lot here. Alright, so I'm gonna boost the vitals to the levels I want.
Nice
I'll go
and
with
healthy.
49.
here's the mature again.
Yeah, the best you can do with the ultrasound is to like get parts of the organ. The
Vitals. Yeah, it's important the double has enough vitals per cut, as they'll tick down very, very quickly.
Right.
Slap the gel over, nice. Good usage.
Yeah,
there.
17 should be enough to me to clear this up.
Yeah, very good. Nice one. All right, that's patient 2.
Good work.
There's 3 more.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh.
just gonna do it with one hand on that one.
Oh.
Let's begin.
I've taken 1 L, that's enough.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so this patient introduces, I think it's actually sort of, it's funny because the difficulty for under the knife here for this particular operation is that it goes up and then back down again. So here we're gonna get 2 immatures again, and in the second wave we're gonna get 2 immatures again. So it doesn't kind of linearly scale. So for this operation, it is slightly slower.
But wait, there's more.
Indeed, there is more. He's going to laser all these, and then going to suture all up, make sure the vitals are at a comfortable level. That 1 cut.
So yeah, gel over the wound so that it doesn't like cause the vitals to tick down to make the vital range. Because you might be noticing that I'm suturing it a little bit more, or suturing, putting the vitals a little bit higher.
Yep. As we now get an extra immature to go with it. It wouldn't be more difficult without another one to go with it. So you can see here, Double's going to focus on basically coming out at the same time, same deal as when we deal with the immatures, and then completely laser it before he moves on to the mature Kyriaki. The pacing, nice. Get those vitals up, and get suturing.
That was risky going for it that early.
Yeah. Nice. I would boost those vitals a little bit though.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I will boost them above 5 every time.
Yeah.
Good work, Doctor.
Nice. Alright, patient 4.
Yeah.
So this again is the same deal. We're going to have 2 immature per wave, and then 2 on the final wave, a mature and immature. So again, same deal. Nice. You'll notice that the immatures will spawn, and they'll be in the same location where their cuts appear. Unfortunately, this doesn't carry over to the mature later on when it dies multiple times. But fortunately, it's pretty easy to find the immatures straight away. Nice, get those vials up again. This is the opportune time to do it because there's nothing that can get in the way while we're doing it. There we go. There's the 2. Very nice double there. On brand.
Yeah. Exactly.
There it is.
Yeah. It got an attack in, which means I have 1 extra laceration to clean up, but I'll be alright.
Nice.
Boost vitals here. Stabilizer is absolutely invaluable.
Oh god, yeah. And yeah, all we're doing is just poking some green juice into them, which doesn't seem to make much sense to me, but I mean, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. Oh wait.
Good work.
You aren't effectively a doctor.
Oh,
You're dressed like one, though.
I'm just like one, but you should definitely not, trust me to do surgery.
Or me.
Yeah.
But you've seen proof of that, so I don't need to tell you.
Yeah. Nice, final patient, here we go. So this again is the same deal, but we ramp it up 1 more time for the difficulty as we get 3 immatures in this wave. We'll locate those pretty quick.
No, where are they?
You can see the main time loss here is actually just looking around. I would boost the vitals too.
fine. I'll just lag the game and then I can deal with things.
That's perfectly fine. You'll also notice that Kiriaki moves quite slowly once it's been gelled. So if you're struggling with Kiriaki, if it's moving too quickly for you to laser it, slapping a gel over it, you can see it slows it down. It makes it nice and easy to laser, which is pretty critical. That applies in the Wii remake as well, so very helpful.
Right, let's clean up this absolute mess.
Yeah, don't worry about the fact that the lung is now 90% sutures.
I'm gonna leave that cut.
Nice. So again, boosting the vials to nice, safe levels, as if we don't, yeah, patient's gonna die. I mean, the important thing here is making sure you have enough vials initially for the triple cut, as the triple cut does a pretty sizable amount of damage. And then it's the reason why we boost further is to ensure that the patient doesn't die while we just keep going ham on Kiriaki. There we go, nice.
Yeah, while they get out is the opportune time to gel the excision that you just made, which I've done a few times before.
Yeah, that's because Kiriaki here does have some iframes while it's creating the cut that it forms.
Okay, well, this is gonna get dangerous.
Ooh, alright, nice. Well, I'm still holding my breath until he gets the bandage out.
Yep. Run's not over until the final bandage is on.
Full vitals. Oh. Making me nervous there, Double. Nice, right.
Final one,
Nice work,
one-handed.
That was good. I think it's safe to say you deserve a little break there. Just kidding. Time
Yeah,
to,
I have to tap away menu things.
Yep, and you got more to come. Alright,
All right.
so
Well, that behemoth of an operation done. We move on to the 5-3 shifting guild.
Yep, so this is Treaty
Yeah.
again. And Treaty, it's slightly different this time, as we get to deal with some gas clouds, which, if it escapes the patient, we have another patient to deal with. So Double's going to make sure not to let that happen. That's pretty important.
Also, the respawn timer for the Thorns is shortened because this is like a mutated strain of guild, because they're making guild more dangerous. So we're going to see a Triforce here.
Hell yeah.
So I'm also going to like just remove these Thorns right-handed, and that's to keep my left hand at the ready to select the drain, which is, as you can see, is just above the forceps. Of course, just as I say that, I get no vapors.
Let's go.
Not complaining though. Got everything out.
Nice, and then he's just gonna, so if he's not careful, you can see that he dropped one of the thorns. Fortunately, one of the triangles rather. Fortunately, it didn't spawn the thorns themselves, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Doctor,
And that was really lucky that it didn't spawn some more. This mutated variation does have some additional difficulty.
Nice
Healing
work,
touch is the safest way to go if you're struggling with this. Even casually,
Yeah, if you're,
I'd recommend it.
yeah, as long as you're not going full rank and you're playing this casually and just try to beat it, like, please use healing touch and deal with it all at once. It is the easiest way,
100%.
and it's the fastest way, but also the easiest way to deal with Tridey.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the game does not explain very well the conditions under which it multiplies.
No.
So don't bother.
Yeah. I can very briefly explain it. Essentially, what happens is, while Double loads into Tatati here, which is pretty nice and straightforward.
It's the same, but you need to do more injections, and the injection time is shorter. That's all it is. It's still easy.
Yeah, essentially, so for the way that Treaty works, to briefly kind of go over it, essentially those thorns are what causes Treaty to continue to replicate. The way to deal with it is, if you want to deal with it casually without using the healing touch, you need to make sure there are no two thorns on an edge that it could escape to. You also can't leave one thorn completely vulnerable while you deal with the last few triangles, otherwise it will also spread. It's a pretty weird system, but it does make logical sense once you sort of break it down. And in the Trauma Center Discord, we do have sort of things to go over it.
good work.
Yeah, this is where it starts becoming more important that I use my right hand to fill the syringe and use my left hand to inject the Tatardi. It just makes the sequencing a lot nicer. Also, can you not overlap, please? Because then that happens.
Alright, so we've got some more dive overs coming.
Really, all three?
Yeah, unfortunately. The Double is just going to make sure that these dives are done. He doesn't matter that he's going to miss one of the cycles. It's important that this doesn't kill the patient.
Yeah.
I would boost the vitals. Oh, making me sweat bullets there. But as long as the vitals are above 0, that's the important thing.
All right. Yeah, this is a struggle moment. This is what happens when you when you talk trash about the tardy.
He's missing a couple cycles, but that's okay. The important thing is that he deals with these diverticular that have formed and the damage they deal, because they do a lot of damage over time.
Yeah, so
Here we go, back into the groove.
okay, so yeah, I'll just continue. Let me just burn it out so I just get it back at full power for this cycle. That one's
the top, nice.
spitting out green.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
come on,
can-
get
You
here.
can tell that the gas, or whatever gas it also emits, is the way you can tell what it is if you've forgotten. Which is pretty important when they're really clustered together and you just can't figure it out. You also notice the double is only drawing about half of a syringe, not even that.
It's around a third is what you need. So yeah, drawing half is just it's nice and quick and it's enough.
That's the important thing.
So second major mistake avoided.
Yep.
Well, technically the third. I survived once and then I died on 5-2.
Good point. Good point.
So third major mistake avoided.
Hey, so we dealt with Kyriaki, we dealt with Treaty, we now dealt with Tatati. It's time for us to be introduced to another guild. There are 2 more left, and we get to introduce into them.
Yeah.
In
You'd expect Pempty at this point, but no, they're done throwing old things at us. It's time for new things.
Yep. So yeah, this new one that we're going to be introduced to is Paraskevi. It stands for what, Friday in Greek, and
Long gummy worm.
yeah, it's a big old long gummy worm. The only way to describe sort of how we deal with this is essentially we need to laser it, we need to cut it, we need to deal with the cuts it makes, and then keep cutting it until it's small enough for us to pull out.
And stabilize in between to make sure the patient doesn't die.
Yes.
And do you remember what patient we're operating on?
Oh, we're dealing with Civil Myers, aren't we?
Yeah, the person that assists us with the bomb defusal.
Indeed. There's Alice has got to, make it so we're dealing with people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Or I guess, in this case, a minute-to-minute basis.
Yeah. So stage 1 is these lacerations that you quickly have to suture once you've done all that. Then Paraskevi will appear. When it's flashing, it's not vulnerable. Once that stops, I can freeze it in place with the laser. I have to laser the tail. Okay. Those cuts are too large to do with the gel. So I'm going to wait for them to come back. And then cut one.
You'll notice the double, anytime the double is going to split one, he's going to be aiming for the highest up one that is small. That way...
except not here, because the big one is in the way.
Yeah, that's right in the way. I think that's beginning gel. Yeah, he's going to essentially be aiming for ones that are slightly lower, slightly higher up. As anytime the Paraskevi moves to the top of the organ, it's essentially preparing to burrow. You have a little bit of flexibility, fortunately. There are multiple organs that has to burrow through first before it gets to the heart anchor of the patient. But the main thing for us is we don't want to have to, constantly transition every time. The transition is a fixed set of time. Oh,
Trying to select the laser.
there you go. Nice. You can see, unfortunately, Paraskevi makes
One might escape because of the iframes now.
Yeah. Well, this is close. Yeah, it's that one's
Yeah.
going away.
Alright,
But-
so now it's time for Healing Touch.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with the second half now.
Yeah. So Healing Touch, you can see here, the Paraskevi immediately becomes, basically, you can laser it straight away. It's also perfect because you can boost the vitals without worrying too much that it's going to unfreeze and move around some more. So he's just going to focus here on trying to extract these ones here. Here we go. He's also being very careful not to hold the laser for too long, as it is possible to burn a hole in the patient, as mentioned earlier, and that requires using the gel, which is more tool switching, it's just not ideal. Boost the vitals up nice and high.
Yeah, also I'm working on the smallest Paraskevi port that is around, just to have as few as legitimately possible around at any one time. Oh, that one's gonna...
Yeah, it got away. That's alright. Fortunately, you have to deal with another one anyway in a second.
Yeah. So yeah, we won't move on, and Paraskevi won't do anything until all the wounds are cleared in the current area. So I'm just going to use this to bump up the vitals nice and high. And these mini sutures are also a pain to suture as well. So yeah, we've got 2 of the second smallest ones. So I'm just going to cut them both at once. And laser all of them. Put them on the tray.
Hit him with the lasers some more. And that's
Well
it.
done.
That is Paris
Right. Yep, that's not done.
Not half bad.
I'm call a bit more.
Good work, Doctor.
That's Paris all done. So
Yeah.
we now got one final guild type to deal with before we then have to.
And we're gonna deal with it across 2 operations.
Yeah, so first we're going to be introduced with the immature version. That's because it's different enough that the way you sort of deal with it is completely different from the mature version. I think there's a particular term you like to use here for when these immatures merge, and I'll leave it to you to give the name.
Yeah, I'll address it when we actually get into the operation proper.
Yeah. Essentially,
Because I'm probably not gonna get the thing.
yeah, fingers crossed you don't. But if you do, then you get to announce them at least.
Panda was saying do the thing earlier on the donation, so I'm gonna try, but no promises.
Alright. So yeah, they're doing a raid basically on Delphi's cell where they're basically doing all the research, and we'll be introduced to a particular character in the next operation. But first, let's deal with immature Salvato, which we've never dealt with before.
Let's begin.
So we open up the patient, and we're gonna find a bunch of lacerations. This is what we've seen before. So you suture him, but this long one down here does not want to be sutured because it spawns mini spiders.
If you don't like spiders, look away. By the way, I probably should have given a precursor to that.
Oh yeah, let me suture this now. Now it can be sutured.
Yep. Now that was going to be aiming to laser each of these spiders as they come out,
Doctor.
and ensure
Yeah.
there are less than 5 on the screen at any given time.
Yeah. They're running behind on this.
There we
Okay,
go.
so yeah, they're merging now, and they make what I affectionately call a blue boy.
As you can see there. And you can see that as well, the vitals dropped really quickly. We're going to get another blue boy, so the vitals are going to get cut in half again, so Double's going to make sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna boost them because this is a giant mess that we have over here. Now the thing is, in a moment, the blue boy will start flashing. If you don't laser it in time when it's flashing, it blows up into more mini spiders.
Yeah.
However, so yeah, that was kind of slow. But in the next operation, we want it to happen.
So
Nice
we
work,
kind of
Dr.
mentioned
Stevens.
about the DS's limited processing and memory. And coming up, we need to specifically focus on the memory limitation this game has. Critically because Salvato, so that was Salvato, which is Saturday in Greek, that was the immature variant. We now get to deal with the mature variant, which is on none other than Angie's father.
Yeah.
But essentially, we're going to utilize the fact that there's so many spiders on screen, there's so much stuff going on to basically push the memory to its limits and mean that stuff can't be spawned in, which is going to be really useful for us. It ensures that we get to skip some
Let's
cycles.
begin.
Yeah, this fight is entirely based around skipping cycles.
Indeed. So Double's gonna cut these webs with a scalpel. The scalpel's gonna burn away out of nowhere. Luckily, Angie packs some more.
I'm gonna bully him.
Yep. So anytime the Double's, you can see Spot is jumping around a lot. That's because he is essentially tapping it with the scalpel while it's gone.
Nice, really fast blue boy. That's gonna help.
Yep. So you can see here, Double's eventually just ignoring all the immatures. He's taking the cycle a little bit slower in hopes that he can then get a full web skip, or what we can call a god skip. Essentially, we haven't fully got a good understanding as to why, but we do believe it's related to the memory limitation, how much stuff is on screen. Essentially, if you cut the last web while there's a lot of stuff going on screen, it is possible to get what's called a god skip, where you skip all 4 web phases that you're supposed to deal with. Normally, if you're done optimally, you get 3 webs. That's still a web skip, but we aim to get 2 with a standard web skip.
And on one occasion, I have actually managed to do 1, and I'm gonna go for it here by waiting till a certain time. I'm gonna go for 8:52 in-game time. Nope,
Okay, so we got.
unfortunately. But there's a lot of mess on screen right now, so I'm gonna try and play optimally from here,
Yeah.
and hopefully the backup to this strat works out, and I only get 2 web phases.
Yeah,
But
essentially the gimmick
that's
is-
not where the fun ends with Savado.
Oh god, no.
There's something else. There's another trick we have up our sleeve that we'll be using once this web phase is over. Wait until the vitals go down from.
You'll also notice that despite the fact that Double is absolutely just slamming juice into this
There we go,
guy-
that's two
there you go.
webs.
That's 2 webs. That's nice and easy. You'll notice, Double slamming injections into this guy. You'll notice essentially any time that a blue boy is on screen, it cuts the max vitals in half. So it cuts it down every time. So
I'm gonna wait with cutting because I want my laser to recharge a bit. Because if I laser it on the frame, if these iframes wear off, I cut through the shield immediately.
And that is shield skip. Essentially, the way the shield skip works is that when Salvado is exposed with the scalpel, its shield doesn't regen immediately. There's a sort of build-up period. So the idea behind that is what we do is we essentially laser it while it's still building up, so it's not gonna be able to rebuild it in time.
Oh.
We're gonna get the injection of the serum.
I'm gonna pre-select the healing touch here because if you look at the bottom left of the screen, it's disabled. Yet I can draw and get it.
Nice. Final injection into Salvado, and that is the final strain of guilt dealt with. But that's not the end of the run, unfortunately.
No. The run starts.
Yes. That's
Like the run starts here.
This is all just build up. This is all practice into the final chapter, which is chapter 6.
It's all just a bunch of anime nonsense just to get to the real part.
Yes, exactly.
All right, mission success.
Nice.
I did not kill my future girlfriend's dad.
Yeah, that's important.
There's some stuff suggesting that Derek and Angie get together at some point after the events.
At the end of UTK2 especially, during the events of UTK2, the sequel to this game, which happens 3 years later, there are some interactions that suggest they are together, as well as at the end of the game, they talk about how they go off on a holiday together. So that suggests, they're probably together. But we now have chapter 6, so we are introduced to the sins. So essentially, the way that Delphi kind of introduced these types of guilt is they had the development. So what they would do is they would kidnap children and young teens between the age of 6 and
label them as sinners. So
Yes.
what we're doing here in the chapter 6, it's a boss rush, except the bosses all went gym.
Yeah, so they got hench.
So starting off here with Kiriaki, it starts as normal, except you can notice the vitals are going to tick down quite a bit faster than before. I like to call this X Light because they're considerably more difficult than the rest of the game, but there's still the X operations on top.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So
one opened.
the important thing that Double is going to be taking a lot of safety precautions, boosting vitals a lot higher than you might expect, and that's simply to ensure that the patient does not die. Because as you'll notice, it's pretty important. You'll notice here he's tapped them twice. Now he has to tap them a 3rd time to kill them. So it's really important that he has those vitals spare. He's going to boost the vitals here. You can see the game's lagging a little bit there with some stuff going on.
we call it free healing touch.
Yes. Nice. Switch up these wounds.
Now is the time you really want to go fast with this.
Indeed,
Call
right.
it.
It's time to boost those vials up nice and high as we then hit phase 2 of the image. Oh, no, time to hit the mature.
Yeah, not just high, we're maxing them out.
Yeah. It's really important to be able to get max vials here. Simply put as 6-2, this operation here, we refer to them as the chapter in the episode. 6-2, Kiriaki Sin is so intense, there is just so much going on. One of the main runners in the Toronto Discord, Irish Joker, who is currently actually picking up this game, he didn't do 6-2 for the longest of time because it's just so insanely difficult. There's so much pacing, there's so many things you got to deal with, and once you get a better understanding of Kiriaki, it becomes a lot easier. But until you have that understanding, you're essentially just throwing gel at the wall and hoping for the best. You can see the vitals are dropping really low here. This is reasonably safe, but even then, this is like not definitely from the lower end.
Remember that I maxed them out when before I started this phase.
Yes. Now, the reason why Double called this X Light or Extreme Light is because at the end of the game, once you've done the story mode, there is an entire chapter dedicated to the extreme operations, the X-Ops, which are each strain of guilt, but much, much harder. you know, you thought this was difficult. Vitals were dropping incredibly low in the X-Ops. Kiriaki, which is the first one, is also the most difficult because it is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's what locks you out from the rest of them because they only unlock sequentially. So you have to beat X1 to unlock X2,
Yeah.
and then X2 to unlock X3, and so on.
Exactly.
Literal gatekeeper.
Yes.
All right, now it's time for Defterra. So yeah, this is the RNG demon that we had before, except now it's actually bad.
Yep, because as a double it went Jim. So it means that anytime they bump and they create tumors, these tumors are going to do way more damage. They also move around a bit more aggressively. It's not a good time.
Doing
Yeah.
some laser management, that's why I waited.
Yeah, we get one, which is nice and helpful. We get to basically be reintroduced to it again. We have to deal with just the one pair.
Yeah, there may be an involuntary Triforce drawn here at some point to save it.
Which is,
Right,
I feel
well,
it's,
first phase went well at least, but that's not indicative of anything.
No. Nice, that's all dealt with.
Just laser this a bit to make sure no small boys are small blobs are hidden underneath.
Yep. Get a little rub, and that's that. Nice and easy. But we now move on to the double strain of Death
Do not associate me with this.
Oh, okay, I won't. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, get out.
Yeah, so he's going to use the gel to basically mix them off. Oh, that is good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go for it though. I'm keeping separate HP stress for this. It's a marathon.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. You can see anytime the Defter interrupts the drain like that, it means that you are basically unable to continue draining and it causes a split off. There we go. Also
So I wonder if we're gonna see the glitch. I don't think.
I hope not.
No, we're not gonna see it because I'm done with the.
Yeah, there is a weird glitch with Defter where you can essentially duplicate it.
Oh my God! Why is this?
This is really good RNG, dude.
Okay, don't waste it. Don't waste it.
You got this.
Just laser everything.
All right, nice.
Oh, there was one there. Oh, don't kill him.
Don't give the lung a little massage. He's got plenty of vitals.
I am not taking liberties with this game, as you should. I took liberties once and I died.
Good point. All right, nice. Some solid RNG for once.
306, dang, without HD.
That is pretty solid.
Now you can be stuck there. There's been times where I've had less than 30 seconds left just because the RNG wasn't cooperative.
Yeah.
And after 1 minute, you'll get like a time limit warning on screen in yellow text.
Yeah.
Third sin.
that
Friday.
is-
This is essentially the same as before, except with the difference that if the gas escapes, I don't get the second patient. I just fail the operation instantly.
Yeah. Not ideal.
But yeah, it's like again when Jim, so respawn time is shorter. The chance for vaporizing is higher. Oh yeah, we're gonna go and we'll give you another Triforce.
Nice, 17 seconds on the clock. Yes, there's the gas cloud.
It will also create membranes if you leave it, let it hover over.
Yep. Upon the double trains. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm running a little low on time. Oh. Alright.
Nice pace. Nice. All right, well
There we
played,
go.
dude. Well played.
Well, that did not go south.
Oh, given the fact that you have a shorter HT than usual, that was really good.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, shorter time because we're drawing an odd shape.
Nice. All right, that was.
But yeah, it's mostly like 21 or 22 seconds is just way more than we need. So
Yeah.
these 15, 16 seconds is enough, as you see here, is enough for us to do it with, which is why we can have fun, essentially. Me memeing wherever I can.
Indeed.
The tardy. Still the easiest. It went Jim, it's not, this one's not to be underestimated, but it's still the easiest out of the 7.
Alright, so first we're going to dive into film again.
Alright, GYP. do at once because the serum wears off too quickly to do all three.
Nice, extract all those. Up on the membranes and gel them up, and then give the little old rub again.
Oh, didn't splash enough. It's just like I need more.
Give me the healing juice.
Yeah, the first phases are not going to be too difficult, but they're also going to move more rapidly. Apparently that was a miss.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see the cycles are a lot shorter now. Someone's going to really have to be careful. He also doesn't want any overlap.
Overlapping jerks.
So yeah,
I'll let that cycle go. Yeah, because it happens more often than not that the game will think you're injecting the wrong one if you try to inject on an overlapping pair.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just missing. That was not me hitting the wrong one.
Yeah, still makes me nervous, man.
I mean, true.
Nice, this is looking good. Nice.
There we go. The last cycle was actually really tight. That's good that I got that
Yeah,
first
that was
try.
really good. Well played. All right, Tatati is done. We now got Pempty, and we mentioned earlier that Pempty is basically a side scroller. It's it's as long as you're on top of Pempty, it's fine. Small caveat to that now in Sin. Sin is pretty aggressive. The cycles are a lot shorter.
You're gonna find out what happens when another scroller goes, Jim.
God, yeah, this is so essentially Double's gonna have to really keep on top of this and make sure that he doesn't miss anything here. He is gonna sometimes have to let some of the cycles go through, make sure the patient doesn't die. We shouldn't see the healing touch here, but he will pop it if he needs it.
Yeah.
But the important thing here is to make sure the patient doesn't die. That's like first and foremost the most important thing here.
Also, it just starts off obnoxious by giving you a sideways excision.
Indeed.
Incision.
Yeah, not an excision. Yep. So he's gonna laser as usual. He's gonna boost the vitals up to max.
Boost the vitals during the downtime here.
Yep.
Because while it does its 3 attacks to show you what it does, you can't, like, Pempty is invulnerable.
Yep.
You'll see it light up in a moment, and that's when it becomes vulnerable. Nice, got a 4 on this.
Good.
And the one that went through didn't make any pop. So it's random whether they spawn between 0 and 3. So I got lucky by the one that got through spawning 0.
Yep.
Not that it really matters much. If one gets through, I can laser all 3 because they're just in a row. But yeah, on something like that, get this, get the hit in, deal with you two.
So something we didn't mention is that if those cores that make tumors or polyps appear and you don't laser them in time, what can happen is essentially what it does is it creates even more, and it also spawns the rest of the wave back. So you're constantly in this battle against the tumor cores while it makes more. So it's really good to import.
Oh no, that's actually bad.
That should be okay though.
This is risky. I should not be doing this.
It's alright. So this is exactly what I mean with I would pop
Yeah, I'm gonna pop
HT.
HT here.
Vital strike.
This is a panic one, so I'm unfortunately gonna draw a Triforce you guys. I apologize.
You can see here, that was a very clutch moment. Essentially, the way that Pempty works is if you miss anything, it will just continue to panic you. And the important thing here is Pempty works on a cleanup loop. So, you know, if you're behind on trying to deal with something, you're constantly trying to catch up to deal with it. You can see even with HT, that was so fast, the double couldn't laser it. So
Yeah,
get
if you
the
don't
upper
deal
half
with the
there.
wave in time, it will spawn new ones.
Yeah, fortunately that's okay. Alright, deal with those cuts. All the vials are ticking down, my guy.
Ah, no!
Okay.
This is the hardest operation in the game.
That's what I mentioned, it's so brutal. It just does not give you
Like,
any space to breathe.
like Kiriaki is the hardest when it comes to X, but with the Sins, it's definitely Pempty.
No, 100% agree, yeah.
Let's begin.
I've had so many problems with Pempty.
I was talking about it before, where if there was one place I was gonna die, it was gonna be here.
Yep. I'd say while we bring up to this again, host, if you have anything to mention now, it's probably a perfect time for any messages or donations.
This one does not want to sit still.
Yeah, we have also some whereabouts. But why we are raising money? We're raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues, to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations go to Mind, and bear in mind, worldwide suicide ranks are the third leading cause of death in youth between 15 and 19 years of age. The second leading cause of death is girls of this age group. Early recognition of mental health disorders is essential to reduce suicide rates, improve tolerability, and reduce severity and severe illness, including depression, psychosis, eating, and substance abusing disorders. Mind tries to help bring awareness by providing classes at the school to inform youth of the topic, and through social media campaigns targeting youth to encourage them to be more open about mental health issues. If you have might seen at the start of our BSG 31 event, we had an interview with Mind. So yeah, keep those donations in for that great cause.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it seems quite amusing to me at least. We're doing actual surgery for mental health awareness, which I would say is quite appropriate.
Yeah, Pempty's vulnerable right now, but I'm gonna prioritize keeping the patient nice. Because look at that mess.
Oh, jeez. Alright, ooh.
Oh, everything is gonna burst.
That's okay though. Fortunately, that wasn't as bad as I've seen. I've seen much, much worse. So that
Yeah,
was
so as a panic button, you just splash down, gel down to it,
cycles are so tight.
Vitals dropping.
Vitals, dude.
I'm gonna die again. Ooh-wee.
Better not ask me to step up to the plate. I have not touched this, the styluses in a long time.
Also, reminder, Double, did you do the thing?
Yeah, sure.
Just asking in chat, so.
Doctor.
Yeah, unfortunately, Double's getting pretty unfortunate with these laceration cores because they're so quick. If you're dealing with something else, you're already missing the first 2 laceration cores that come out. So there's absolutely no way to sort of keep on top of it. And you know, the further you get into the operation, the more laceration cores come out, and the quicker they come out. So you know, it's essentially, if you're not ready to deal with those cores, it's immediately you're on the back foot and you've got vitals ticking down really quickly. So it's really unfortunate that he's getting so many laceration cores.
In fact, I'm just gonna laser this spot while Pempty is out, just in case that happens.
Good call.
But yeah, what you would really want is the circling courses every time.
Yeah. Because they're so easy to deal with, they're so quick, they don't last long, and it does so little damage.
Right, just keep the rhythm, just keep the rhythm. Just hold the laser here, they'll run over it and die.
Nice.
I'm expecting it. Hold it.
Nice. Good
Alright,
prediction.
yeah, it dies up so fast, it's nice to get 3.
Nice, he's caught it this time.
Oh, well, that one's gonna get through.
Letting 1 through, but that's okay. Oh, 2, that's fair. Fortunately, the cuts do a significant amount, but it's not enough to be a problem. Nice, that's also good timing on the cores.
Yeah, good thing I got that. Come on, get the hit.
Nice. Nice, this is going well.
Alright, this should be it.
Alright, we've got the laceration cores.
Oh no, not again.
Oh god.
Oh no. This happened last time I ran this in Marathon too.
That's meant.
Okay.
Let's begin.
Oh, Pempty is ruthless today.
Yeah. That's what I mentioned. It's gone gym. It's gone hench. I mean, as you can imagine, the X.
This went the biggest gym of all.
Yes. I mean, as you can imagine, with X-Ops, this is even more intense. Based on my experience with Second Opinion, the Wii remake, it's brutal. You do not have any space to breathe. So, essentially, I think we kind of established the difficulty between UTK and a Second Opinion. It is somewhere between normal and hard, but the sins themselves are kind of more akin to the X-Ops that you find in Second Opinion. just down to their difficulty and the way they work.
Doctor,
Nice, you got 3 in there.
Nice, got lucky on the pull-up count.
Nice, that's good. Hey, you got this, man. You got this.
Think about now. Okay. I'm just gonna pop it now.
Yeah, that's a good call. So unfortunately, the main problem with HT on Pempty is that it just reduces the amount of time you have. You can see here.
It lengthens the cycles where it's invulnerable.
Yeah, essentially, it's a bit kind of, it's an oxymoron. Essentially, you know, you've got something that you want to deal with as quick as possible. So HTing means that you don't have as much time to deal with it.
Okay,
But,
that's
like,
new. It made 4.
Huh.
That's never happened before.
There's the marathon term.
Yeah,
Never happened before.
actually did.
All right, fingers crossed. Let's go. All right.
Oh no.
All right. Oh yes, mini calls. Let's go. All right, just make sure that the patient doesn't die here. Yes.
There we go.
Let's go. You got it. Whew.
Took a few tries.
Got there in the end.
This is
That's
me
the
paying
thing.
for all the malpractice over the years.
nice work.
You know who this was? I just realized who this is. This is Emilio.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Emilio's the so Emilio is a character that appears in Under the Knife 2, and one of the main diseases you encounter in Under the Knife 2 is post-guilt syndrome. So a bunch of the characters that had guilt in this game show up and have post-guilt syndrome, and which is different depending on what guilt strain they had. And yeah, the Penty Sinner that you work on is Emilio from the second game.
Yeah. And he has everyone's favorite term, medical.
Let's begin.
Yeah, Emilio is everyone's favorite character.
Indeed. Well, it's now time for Paraskevy. This should be hopefully pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no. After getting through Penty like that, I am certain that we'll be good for the rest of this.
Yep.
Gonna beast the rest of this.
Doctor,
Got this, man. Nice. Nice small cuts makes it nice and easy. As mentioned before, Double's going to try and work on the smallest one possible available on the screen. He's also going to try and work from top to bottom on the screen. That way, it ensures that essentially the one that's soonest to borrow isn't going to get away. Oh god, they're all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, luckily it was the small ones.
Luckily,
so we could just pick
yeah.
them up.
One of the main things with Under the Knife is that it does a pretty good job of identifying which one you meant to pick up. It does prioritize the smaller ones, it seems.
Until you're rejecting Tatardi.
Well, yes. This is looking very healthy. This is looking like it could be a one screen. One screen is a term where, as you can probably imagine, Double will be able to deal with all the Paraskevy on a singular area within the operation. Unfortunately, Paraskevy is very troublesome because you have so much tool switching to do. You can't sequence it very well.
They're gonna wait here.
Nice.
Oop.
All right, healing touch. Let's go. Oh,
Why did that work?
all right. Can someone clip that? That goes straight into the Trauma Center Discord because that was not a star.
I drew and thought.
That wasn't even a Triforce.
Oh, I love this game. I love this game.
That was pure class, is what it was.
Also, because of the dot, I got like no HD time. Also, I don't know if we mentioned this before, but you do need to laser the tail.
It's very specific.
See through this.
Right.
Hey, lazy you there, lazy you there. Just vitals further. I'm gonna go for like a nice save number that I just get. I don't have to stabilize anymore for this last part.
Yep. Good call. All right, we got our one screen, which is looking pretty good.
Yep. This is the final one.
All right, and then after this, we got our favorite boy Savato, and
Yeah.
that should be pretty quick.
The Vado is actually fairly inconsequential.
Good work, Doctor.
Inconsequential. When it comes to comparing normal Savado, because it's the quote-unquote final boss, so
Yep.
the default one is already going to be like a disease it wants you to think, oh, this is the strongest guild. So the difference between Sin and
Original, yeah.
the Sin and the normal one is not too big. It's just it'll do its things more frequently. I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if it affects the spider behavior. It might, but the main thing during the web phase is that it makes web strands more quickly.
It also, something that, we didn't notice at all in the first one, but in the second one we might, is the fact the webs turn red. If they completely turn red and then turn back to white immediately, that means that it will drop the vitals significantly. It's a big loss. The reason being is because these webs are essentially supposed to be draining the life force out of the patient, and that's why Savato can live.
Yeah. So the strat is the same as before otherwise, but I don't have to waste as much time as the first one because just dealing with this Savato normally is already going to take long enough because I have extra strands to cut because it makes them fast, because it makes them more quickly. Yeah, poke him a little bit.
Trans darkening there.
When it starts to darken, that's generally my cue to start getting a move on. I can
That's
also
a
use
lot of
two
spiders.
styluses to select the scalpel and then hit the web that I'm going for.
That is a lot of spiders, good lord.
Yeah. Alright, so web phase 2. If I do the setup right, then I should be good for 2 webs here. Also, something important that we might need to mention. This is actually the final operation of the game.
The time will be when we get to the epilogue, when we finish the text skip.
Yeah, it's not exactly on finishing this operation. There's an epilogue you have to view to get to the credits.
Yeah. We're nearly there. Doing these pesky webs.
Yeah,
And
there's
then the shield. Nice.
there we go, 2 webs.
Pretty solid. We can get those files up nice and high. And let's go. Got
Yeah.
this, man.
Alright, 78 is what I'm gonna work with here. Now the shield also has a lot more health, so I'm gonna burn out the laser a bunch during this.
Yep. You can see also notice the double's not trying to laser the immatures.
Also, I'm not doing the skip here
Yep.
because the reason we do it on the first hit in the first one, because after the second hit you get dialogue that interrupts you.
You might be wondering, why don't we chain these shield skips back to back? And that's because we have tested it. Simply put, Savato regains its shield too quickly on the second hit, so it's just simply not possible.
Yeah, you can skip it twice. So here, wait a bit, start lasering, bang.
Nice, good job.
Do it.
All right, here we go.
Just vitals nice and safe. And one final Triforce to wrap this whole thing up.
Nice.
I think that's the best one I've drawn so far because it took extra time to do it.
All right.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, people, is Trauma Center Under the Knife.
So, once we get to the epilogue, time will finish. So, we'll wait for Savato to finish off dying here, taking its long old time, crawling into the center of the organ. All those cuts disappear, so we're all done.
Yeah, that's the thing we didn't mention either. Savato gets rid of all the wounds when it fades away. So that's why we also don't like suture them or whatever, and we leave them around like we also do with Kuryaki.
All right, bandages on, so they are saved. We're officially done with all patients. It's now
Now it's
gonna
just
be
getting
epilogue.
to where time ends.
Yep. So be ready on time.
Yeah. Right, so we get a save prompt here, and now we get the epilogue. Oh, we get this after Adam.
So we get introduced to Adam, which is one of basically the main villain, the one who's sort of alive with an additional strain of guilt called Bliss. There he is. He looks pretty messed up. He's like over 100 years old at this point.
He's basically immortal, which is why he's like molding. So this is the final. This is the final part.
Yep. So get ready on
Epilogue.
time.
Yeah, when the text box on the top screen, when that disappears, is when time is. But there's this little special thing I want to show off before we go up. Find where it is. Thank you, Doctor. And then here it shows Danke Arzt, which
Nice.
is thank you, Doctor in German. So we get this
Right.
and time.
Nice one, dude. Let's go.
Oh, do I want to know my time? I don't know if I do because of how empty it went.
1:48:02.
Yep, overestimate. That's what I expected. I'll keep the outro short to not make a certain person angry. So yeah, I've been DoubleDubbel. Thank you to BSG for allowing me to showcase this game. We have a speedrunning Discord where we also love to talk about the game casually. And as we mentioned before, we have a Discord with bad stars where that weird dot I drew is gonna go into. Yeah, you can follow me as DoubleDubbel on pretty much everywhere. And where can they find you?
Twitch.tv, LeoK, Twitter, same handle. I'm also showcasing New Blood tomorrow. So if you like anime surgery, you'll be in for some more for that tomorrow.
Yeah, if you haven't had enough yet. All right, back to you, host.
Thank you so much for the run double and with the co-commentator LeoK. Next coming up is Naomi with Here Comes Nico on any %. And I will be signing off for you because my host shift is done. And I'll bring it over to Paulister. So he's going to take it over from me. Get your donations in. We have a lot of bid wars going on.